Hello and welcome back to Read Back. Today we're going to do a quick, rapid, very topical or timely tag for the new Releaseathon this month in August. So this is the new Releaseathon tag, and if you're realizing I've skipped over something you tagged me in months ago, I probably did. I am not ignoring you, I will get back to it. but this one is specific to this month. Not really. It's got some great prompts that talk about how we engage with new releases. And so I think you could do it anytime, but I want to get it in for the new release of that. So I'm doing it. It's skipping the line. It's my channel, my rules, right? So anyway, I was not tagged by anyone. I just wanted to do it, as I said. So I'm not going to tag anyone specifically at the end or the beginning, but I am tagging you if you would like to talk about how you find new releases, what you're excited about in new releases, how you engage with new releases. So jump in and do the new Releaseathon tag if you're interested. So starting with prompt number 1 is, what new book release are you most excited for? And I'm very excited for this one because I actually got an advance copy, and this is one of my most excited releases for the second half of the year. This is The Unbalancing by R.B. Lemberg, and just look at that cover. Oh my god, it's gonna be so gorgeous in print. So as I said, I got an advance copy. It's coming out next month, so I'm hoping to actually read it this month for new Releaseathon, which would be perfect. So this is, I think, going to be very big mythic fantasy on an island, and it has kind of, I think, like a magic versus technology thing maybe, but I have read R.B. Lemberg before. Very queer themes woven throughout the previous stories in this world. This is the first full length, and from what I understand, you could read the short stories, novellas, etc. that were set previously all kind of standalone. They are just set in the same universe. Same for this. I think this does not require any prior knowledge of this universe, which is the Birdverse. And so I'm looking to just jump in and really enjoy it, honestly. I'm really, really excited for this one. As I said, I read, I think, a short story and The Four Profound Weaves, which was a novella, and just absolutely had a stunning time. The world building is exceptional. So prompt number 2 is, what book release were you not that excited for at first, but changed your mind about? And I think I have to go with Siren Queen by Niveau for that. Now, I was not well, I should start with, I have read Niveau before, and I don't think I've ever been steered wrong on Beau's work. Really enjoyed the previous books, but this one, the story, plot summaries and the cover were just not grabbing me. So I was not really anticipating it that much, but then kind of the new early discussions from people that are happening right now are making me definitely very much more interested. So that has really flipped my interest on its head, definitely. Number 3 is, how many new releases have you read so far this year? So looking at my Goodreads, just going by 2022 releases, it looks like I've read 13 because new Releaseathon's going on. I'm reading more this month. However, I've got Fevered Star halfway through, so 13 and a half with another couple on my shelf. How do you usually find out about new book releases? Obviously BookTube. I think any of us who are on here, have channels, are active viewers, we, through osmosis of watching a lot of people talk about books that they're reading and seeing what they're excited about, we will find out about books, obviously. I think we probably are more engaged than most, those of us who are active here on BookTube. Other than that, I follow a number of publishers on social media. So mainly Facebook. I don't do Twitter or Instagram. Some newsletters, I follow the tour.com newsletter. I get some newsletters from other publishers or booksellers that I have purchased from, and those help me see, here's new stuff that's coming out. Goodreads has a newsletter that goes out pretty regularly and tells you, or emails you as well, if an author who you've read before has a new book coming out. You can set that in your settings on Goodreads, so I do have that. NetGalley I use as well for that. I have not been using NetGalley a ton this year. I did it in the past, liberally, but not as much as some people. I'm pretty selective about what I choose. It has to be a book I actually want. I'm not a person who goes out and just spams requests for advance copies, which is what NetGalley is for. You get e-galley copies of books. So I use it mostly at this point just to see what is pending, what people are available to request for an advanced review, because it's going to be coming out soon, and that way you can tell what the new hotness is. So I do that. I also, there's a number of other places. So I also follow fantasy releases, specifically on the R Fantasy subreddit. The mods there post a monthly post that includes basically all of the traditionally published releases. And then one of the self-published authors who's active there does a post both there and on his blog, Rob J. Hayes, that includes a lot of self-published works that are coming out. And basically anyone can message him and request that their book be added to the list, as long as they've got like a valid book up for sale for pre-order and a cover. Then they can provide a description and he will post it. So that's how I keep up on a lot of stuff that's coming out. I have a much harder time with other genres because I'm so much more plugged into fantasy and sci-fi, just by nature of following those more than others. So like romance releases, I'm much less up on, and plus the volume is so high, it's really difficult to keep up. But I do love romance, so I read a lot less new releases there, just simply by virtue of not having kept up as much. Is there a genre that's most represented in your anticipated book releases? And I just answered that. So yeah, sci-fi and fantasy for sure. I do read very widely, and because I browse my new release shelf at my library a lot, I haven't been doing it as much this year, but I just grab random stuff. So yeah, I grab random things, not necessarily sci-fi and fantasy, but it definitely leans that way when I'm looking for what's new that I want to get to. Is there a buzzword that will get you instantly hyped for a new release? So I don't think there is, in terms of like general fiction, literary fiction, that type of stuff. Sci-fi, fantasy, genre benders and genre blenders are my major buzzwords. Weird is definitely one. Maybe for literary, weird and surreal, I think, would probably be keywords. So I think those are big ones. For romance, I would say enemies to lovers, but I don't like the actual hate where they hate each other. I like that they dislike each other and then they have to get to know each other, and through getting to know each other, they realize they're not actually the horrible person, as opposed to there's also this idea of hate to love where they hate each other and that makes it spicy. And I'm not as into that. I like them actually slowly progressing to getting to know each other, breaking down the walls between each other, that sort of thing. So I think that is it for my questions. So that is it for the new Releaseathon tag. I hope you are participating in new Releaseathon. What, if you are a viewer who's not going to do this tag, is your hottest anticipated release? Let me know, and if I should pick it up in the future. So yeah, let me know what your second half of 2022 pro tip is for new releases. Thanks so much for watching.